All right, so we're recording. Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to talk about guest host parties with you guys. And I'm hoping that some other people have tried them throughout the past month so that we can kind of brainstorm together with what works best. So for those of you that are brand new or may have seen the training, there was a training done probably about 6 weeks ago that a stylist named Jody York did. And I'm going to mute. Can you guys mute yourselves if you're not talking at the moment? So she talked about how she does parties in her VIP group along with her girls' night ins and does a guest host. So I've been trying these out for the last 6 weeks, and I've tried it a variety of ways. And I encouraged everyone on the team to watch the training and try to do at least one so that we could all get feedback of like what's working the best. So first of all, if everyone could just drop in the chat and let me know if you have tried one and like how many you've done, just so that I can get a gauge of who I can ask questions to and things like that. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and you guys can feel free to unmute yourselves at any time and talk. And we got a newbie. And feel free to do your video too if you feel comfortable. So I have a couple ways that I've done mine. I've done mine in, sorry, I've got 2 more people trying to join. Let me let them in. So I've done mine on my Facebook VIP page, the main page. I've also done them in events. For those of you that have done them, which way did you try them? And I'm hoping some of us will unmute ourselves and chat with me.
The first one I did, I set up as an event in my VIP group. But then I think I ran the actual girls' night in on my page. But
okay,
leading to it, I posted in the event.
Okay.
I feel like
it was like a notification, but then everybody could see it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that worked well. The interaction was good.
Yeah. I feel like more people, I don't know why, and I try to post a few times in the event so that people that aren't RSVPing to it will see, and then maybe change their RSVP to like maybe you're not going or going.
Yeah.
But I feel like once I start a girls' night in on my page, people just come out that like
right.
they see it. So
yeah. So what did you do as far as like, did you send samples like you would with a normal party, or did you have the hostess tag people, or how'd you go about that?
Yes, I did. For the first one, I actually had a few more days leading up to it, and this last one I only had like 2 days, so I had less time to like share all the things, but I still put that they could request samples, and I think I still did an early bird special too, so if they ordered before, and
what did you do for your early bird special? Because I know there's probably some people wondering, what is an early bird special and what are you doing if you're not giving out samples?
So now that I have some more samples, I've been doing samples again, but I posted the hair ties that I ordered from my friend. So I was doing that when I didn't have the twosies. I got these cute little cards that say, one of them says doing nails is my cardio, and the other one says something else about nails. and they have different decorated hair ties on them. So that.
So you're getting 24
usually,
hours, right? 24 hours ahead of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I feel like I did the event, but I feel like it was hard to get new people into a group and then have them RSVP to event. So I still did the event, but I think it's a little bit confusing for them to get into a group and then.
That was the exact same issue I was trying to overcome. And so I want to back up just a little bit for anyone that's like, what are they talking about? Girls' night in? Basically a party in your VIP group that runs for an hour. There's trainings on those on the team page. So if you need to go back, you can look. And then the guest host is basically adding a hostess to your VIP group to just continue to boost sales. But yes, I had the same problem because the first one I did, I had them invite their guests, and I ran it on the main page, but the hostess was not doing like hostess coaching stuff. So she wasn't tagging, they weren't requesting samples. And then I just felt like they weren't being the hosts. So then the second time I ran it as an event, which is how I prefer to run things in my VIP group, because then, you know, if you do it from the computer, everybody gets invited. I feel like it gets more interaction. It gets, you know, more people knowing about it. But yes, I had a problem getting the people into the event. So what I actually started doing is so when you do the welcome things on your VIP page, you can do those welcome posts. So every time I did a welcome post throughout the week, as people were getting added, I wrote their names down and I kept track of a list so that I could personally go in and invite each person to the event. Because odds are I created the event before everybody was in the group. And so the late ads are not getting in the event. But by making a list and keeping track of the list, that way I kind of know who the hostess has invited, and I can separate the new people from a previous party from the new people that have been added by my hostess. And I just keep that list by my computer. So I'm personally inviting them to the event. I then follow up with them and let them know, hey, make sure you RSVP so that you don't miss any of the events. And then most of them would. But then, and I kind of feel bad doing this, but then I don't, because they added themselves, so they obviously want to be there. But I'm actually going in and automatically RSVPing them. If they do not say that they're going, and they've been invited by the hostess and they have made the choice to join, then I will switch their RSVP to going, and I just send them a quick message right before the party. Say like, hey, just wanted to let you know I RSVP'd you. I wanted to make sure you didn't miss out. That way they see everything. So that has been really helpful for me. And then the other thing that I have been doing, which you wouldn't necessarily need to do, because, you know, most everybody here can create an event and invite their whole VIP group. I cannot any longer, which has been super frustrating for me to overcome. And so I will create a new VIP group banner for the week. And I will say, you know, my business name, and then off to the side, it says like guest host party this week with, and I will say that the hostess's name and then the time. And I like that because when a guest gets invited to a separate group and it says like Sarah's nail bar, they know what they're adding themselves to. They know they're getting invited to a party and they're accepting it. But I feel like if they're getting invited to a group that's like Sarah's sassy nails or whatever, they don't necessarily know that they're getting invited to a party. They might just think they're getting invited to somebody's business. So I feel like by me having that in the banner, when they get invited, they're going to see their friend's name and be like, oh, something's going on in this group this week with my friend. And then they're going to join. So that's another thing that I have been doing that is super helpful.
I copied
Jeff,
you.
I see you hopped on. Welcome. Have you done a guest host party yet? Or has anyone else that's on done a guest host party yet? Nope. Okay. Well, perfect. This is a great thing to try. Vanessa, what were you going to add?
I do that same thing. I started adding their name and the party in the banner.
Yeah.
So that people know.
Yeah. Because I think if I got invited to like somebody,
Just
I don't add myself to groups unless people personally reach out, because that's what we're supposed to do. So I feel like if you're working your business and you personally invite me, then I'm going to join. But if you just click on the invite, then I just decline it. I guess I'm kind of like I'm going to be a snob that way. But, you know, if it's like so-and-so's ever group, you know, I don't know what I'm joining. But if I see my friend's name in the banner, I'm going to be like, oh, something's going on. The thing that I'm loving about these is two things. So for anyone that does multiple parties a week, this is like one less group that I need to create. So I try to do at least 2 a week, 3 if I can. And so for me to be running my VIP group and create 2 separate groups and keep up with both of them, that's a lot. I occasionally do battle the hostess parties, but I have found that separate groups, I tend to get higher party sales. And so I do like the separate groups. But with this, it's like one less group that I need to create and post in. So if I have 2 parties in a week, I will try to do 1 party in a separate group, and then I will try to do the other party in my VIP group. With the exception of, I don't necessarily want to run a girls' night in every single week, although I did last month and it went fine. I just think it takes down my interaction a little bit, because I used to only host them once a month. And then with COVID, I felt like people needed more fun. So then I started doing them twice a month. So I just feel like the more you do them, the less exciting they are. So rather than getting like 20 people to tune in, now I feel like I get maybe 5 to 10 VIPs to tune in, but that's okay, because I mean, I think every guest host party I've done so far has hit 300, because my host is getting like half of the orders, and then I have a couple VIPs that order, so then they go on there, and then you're leaving with a happy hostess also, because what would have been a $150 party or $175 party is now a $300 party. So then I feel like that hostess is more likely to go tell their friends. So that's like one thing that I'm loving.
Do you always
Go ahead.
set up a new shopping link, or do you just give them your own rewards?
Nope. They have their own shopping link.
Okay.
So I post that specific shop link all week long, starting like 24 hours before the girls' night in. And then, you know, at least 48 hours after, but like, so like, for example, last week, my guest host was like $50 shy or whatever, like after the 24 hours, because I give my VIPs only 24 hours to get their girls' night in schedules. So they're on a deadline. So they have to get their orders in quickly, which I also like because it doesn't drag them out. But since she was $50 away, I was like, well, I'm sure we can get $50 more of orders. So I went and extended hers till Friday. But then even after she like hit her goal, she had like one more friend that I guess can't order till next Friday. So I just told her like, we'll keep it open till next Friday, but I'm no longer promoting her link in my VIP group. Like she can continue to leave it open and promote it herself and text her friends. But like, as far as in my VIP group and my VIP is helping you out, like you really only get typically like a 3-day window. That's kind of what I've been giving them. And then I would have to say the other thing that I'm loving is that I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to get people to host that don't want to host. So just yesterday, or a couple days ago, I booked a party with a girl who has told me no to hosting twice now. And I don't know why she doesn't want to host exactly. But she always says no. But she invited like 2 or 3 people to my VIP group like a month ago. And then she just invited a couple more people to my VIP group. So I was like, well, she obviously likes it enough to share it. So I'm guessing maybe she either just doesn't like the idea of hosting or she doesn't feel like she has enough friends to host. So I messaged her and I just kind of like made it sound like a great opportunity. And I just said, hey, you know, I know you have no interest in hosting, but how would you feel about being a guest host? It's literally the same thing. She's still, but it's all in how you word it. And I'm like, you've already invited like 5 people to my VIP group. You know, you always attend my girls' night ins. Like, why don't I just set you up a link? Your friends that you've already invited can support you. If you want to invite a few more, you can. And then my VIPs can help you get to your rewards. So I'm finding it's like great for those people that like don't want to host or feel like they don't have enough friends, because I don't necessarily tell people like for a regular party, I say, oh yeah, invite like 20 to 25 of your closest friends. But for the guest host, I usually say like invite at least 5 to 10. That way it's not pressure, but they can obviously invite more if they want to. And typically they do. So anyone else want to chime in on that? Patty and Angela, I saw you guys hopped on just recently. Have either of you tried guest host parties yet?
Hey there, Ashley. No, I have not tried them yet. I'm super excited. I just watched your other training where you talked about it a little bit, and I'd been talking about this in my smaller group with my downline. So I'm excited to try it out this month.
Awesome. Trying to check the chat. So I don't think anyone else has. Oh, so Sarah had a guest host party. Sarah, you're still on. You said you can't talk. Can you type in the chat how your guest host party went, and if you have anything to add? Nikki said, can we rewind a minute? I missed the first couple minutes. How do we introduce this to the person? So yeah, so Nikki, basically I'm introducing it 2 ways to people. Like I said, if I have multiple parties in a week, then whoever books first, they get the private group. Or this sounds bad, but whoever I think is going to have the more successful party gets their own group, you know. And then the one that I'm like, I'm not sure how active she'll be, or like another example. So I just had a hostess want to book her 3rd party, and her first one did great, and her second one was like, and third one I'm like, oof, like I feel like you might be annoying your friends, but I'm going to let you host anyway. So with her, I was kind of like, hey, we're going to try a new format this time. And you're going to be a guest host in my VIP group. And so I didn't really give her an option. I just said, this is what we're doing. So yeah, and it's one less group I need to create. It's one less party I need to run, because I'm going to be running the party in my VIP group anyway, at least twice a month. So why not add a hostess to any girls' night that you're going to be running, and just, you know, two birds with one stone kind of thing. Nikki, you said you haven't tried one yet, right?
No, I haven't tried it yet, but I really think it's a great idea. I'm definitely going to try and implement this month.
Yeah. I had even thought about trying multiple this month. You know, like if I can get, so like for this month, I only booked 2 parties before the 15th, and then I booked all the rest of them after the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like my head's gonna explode, because I'm like, normally I only book 2 days a week, and I think next week I have like 4 different days for the next 2 weeks. I did that because I'm hoping there's gonna be an announcement about a trip, and I'm hoping there's gonna be 2 weeks of double points.
Right.
So now I'm thinking like, oh, well, running 4 parties in a week might be crazy. So I was thinking I could still do a couple separate, but maybe do like 2 of them in my VIP as guest hosts, and, you know, somehow, I don't know, you know, I could tell them like, choose a link, but then if everybody chooses the same link, you know, I could say like, hey, so-and-so got the first order, so whichever VIP is going to order next, you know, order on this link, and just kind of try to maybe keep them even.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously their guests can order from, you know, the person that invited them. But that's what I was trying to come up with something. And I also almost did that for my one this week, because I had told her multiple times to invite people, and like nobody was getting added. So either nobody wanted to come, or she wasn't inviting people and was just hoping to get free nails from my VIPs, you know, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, maybe I should add a second hostess and be like, hey guys, I got a last minute opening for another guest host. And I never did get any takers, so I didn't get to try it with the 2. And I never did get any of her friends to join, but she just reached out personally, and, you know, I think she got 2 orders from my VIPs. So I was like, hey, if you want your rewards, go text all your friends your link, tell them I'm only $50 away, and, you know, tell them they got 48 hours to get the orders in. And sure enough, she got like 3 orders and has 1 more coming. So all right. Well, so I think it's just, oh, here, Sarah's. I did a mystery hostess instead of a guest host. I didn't do that great, but the hostess was not active. I messed up my permissions on this new phone with my speaker disabled. Got it. Yeah, so I do think you can do a successful guest host party on your main page if you have an active hostess. Like if you have a hostess that's gonna tag her guests in the sample post and tag her guests in the ordering link, then they're gonna get the info. But otherwise, I kind of feel like they're gonna get lost in the group, you know? Especially like, I mean, my VIPs are always commenting. I just feel like the posts are always getting out of order, and they're, you know, so.
I feel like whenever I do event, my people aren't as active.
In
like
the
when
events?
it is the events.
Interesting. Do you do quite a bit of posting, like leading up to it?
Uh-oh.
It's okay. Like, because I know for me, I create the event at least a couple days before, and I feel like I get RSVPs, but then when I'll do a post that says, reminder, girls night in Tuesday or whatever, then I'll get like a couple more RSVPs, and then, I post something else the day of and I get a couple more RSVPs, and then I post like a 1 hour reminder. I feel like every time you post, because everyone that gets invited does get a notification. So I kind of feel like the more you pre-post before the party, they're just going to get that reminder like, oh, I need to switch my RSVP.
I feel like it would be less confusing because then people see the event and are like, wait, where's this happening?
Right.
If I post in the event and then I post on the wall. So
Yeah. See, when I very first became a stylist, I used to run my parties like that. I would create the separate group, but then I would create an event as basically their notification. But then I would post in the group, which is what I do now. And I did have some people tell me like, oh, well, it's really confusing that you create an event and then you don't post in the event. And so, but then it was like, I felt like the people that didn't RSVP weren't seeing it, which is why I wanted to post on the main wall. So that's why I switched my parties, and now I don't create events anymore in parties. I do it in my VIP group just to separate my VIP stuff from my girls' night stuff. But I always put it in the title. So instead of just like Sarah's Summer Nail Bar, it now says Sarah's Summer Nail Bar, Tuesday, July 14th at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So that way, as soon as she invites her guests, everybody knows when the party is. There's no confusion. You don't need an event. They see whatever you post,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm really liking them. How do you run it? 24 hours, run it as a girls' night in versus the traditional 45 to 60 minute Facebook party. It's girls' night in, running the event. So, Nikki, I think that's really like preference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, girls' night in is basically a Facebook party because it's an hour long. At least most of the templates are. Sometimes I do take out a few to try to keep it to 45 minutes. I just feel like 45 minutes is long enough to get all your information posted, but not too long that you lose people's attention span, which is why I shortened mine to 45. I tried to do 30-minute parties, and I just felt like I was not getting all the posts out there that I wanted to.
So I guess I'm wondering, so for the guest hostess, when I run my girls' night in, I don't have as much informational material. I have more kind of interactive material. But for the guest hostess, I feel like I would want to have more of those application instructional posts and things like that. Like, what about Color Street? Because some of these ladies we're adding, they might not have ever seen it before.
Right.
So I usually post that stuff leading up to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Like the what is Color Street and the sample request thing, and then during the party I do throw in the application video.
Okay.
Because I think this was in one of the trainings, was that some of your VIPs might also need a refresher, or they might have been added and never saw a demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think I saw that same training because I was like, oh yeah, I just kind of assumed all my VIPs came from a party, but they don't. Some of them are just referrals, so they need to see that stuff too. But yes, I still post that stuff, but I definitely condensed it. Parties, I post like, I think 6 days leading up, like twice a day, where with the guest host, I just start posting like a couple days ahead of time, but I still always do the sample one, and I make sure the hostess tags everybody. And if she doesn't listen to my directions, then I do it, because that's kind of one of my things is I'm not going to let a party fail simply because my hostess doesn't care about whether it fails or succeeds. So if they don't want to do what I ask, then I do it. I take it into my own hands, because it's like, if you want it done right, do it yourself, right? And then I always do an application demo, and I always do like an introduction to Color Street. So I kind of just usually stick to like those 3. So at least they have a general idea. And then they're still getting the host and the join posts during the party.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just trying to make sure. I mean, I set a goal to always do two girls' night-ins a month now. And I just try to make sure I have a guest host for every single one. Because even if they just have 5 people, that's still 5 more potential customers than you had before.
Okay.
And even like, you know, every once in a while you get those new group members that are like super eager and excited, and you see them inviting people like right away. Like they'll invite like 10 people and you didn't even ask them to. Obviously, I message those people immediately, because I'm just like, hey, I see you've invited some friends. We should make sure that you get free nails for this. I have a hostess opening on blank date. This is what it entails. Like, you share with your friends, and my VIPs will help build your rewards even higher. I mean, when you say it like that, everybody's like, oh, this sounds like a great plan, you know? Like, your VIPs are going to help me get more free stuff. Okay. So. All right, anyone have any questions about guest host parties? Or I guess even the girls' night in general? So, so just a reminder, if you're new, so one of our presidential uplines, she typically emails out 2 free templates a month as a reward when you bonus qualify, which honestly, like, that's probably my favorite email of the month, because I don't like making templates and graphics. So that saves me tons of time. So look for those. They would come from Nail Vibes. And then there's also some, you can find some like in some of the team files. There's been some made. I know the graphics from the Dream Team graphics group, they do like there's some girls that do the weekly themes, and they have now started adding a girls' night theme to them. So I used one of those last week because I needed one and I hadn't gotten the email yet. So, and then I also have a team member right now working on a Christmas in July one for our team that
That'll be fun.
will be getting shared when it's done. So, all right. Well, if there's no more questions, then we're going to wrap it up. I will post the recording in the team page for anybody that needs to go back, or if you have teammates that you want to make sure watch it. So I will post that in the event once it's loaded, and then you can share it. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. So thanks for tuning in, everybody.
All right. Thank you so much.